Good evening, everyone. It is Friday evening. It is 7 o'clock. And of course, that can only mean one thing: time for our weekly 1 hour live stream. And we are keeping it in to an hour tonight. We're not going to go nowhere near as long as we went last night. That was a very special circumstance, of course. But guys, we are still in Titanic month. We've got tonight and we've got next Friday, and those will be the end of our live streams involving Titanic for Titanic month. Doesn't mean we're not ever going to stream about Titanic again, obviously, but it'll be the end of Titanic month next Friday. We've got Mark, we've got Anna, and we've got Max with us this evening. And I was told I was crazy for saying Titanic month. Not here. You're perfectly normal if you are here for Titanic month. I'm just saying. We'd have no problem with Titanic month here. I know some people do Titanic week. Here's the thing, though. A lot of times, some people are. Oh, Aaron's here. Aaron has made it too. Welcome, Aaron. I don't talk about Titanic a whole lot throughout the year. I mean, I do talk about it occasionally. Sometimes we'll load up Honor and Glory, explore the ship, and talk a little bit about it. But for the most part, I try to keep the content not so Titanic heavy, if that makes sense. But obviously, in this month, we're going to go all out. So, having said all of that, let's go ahead and go straight into what we're going to be doing tonight. And here we are. So, guys, this is the first time I've ever actually done the stern exploration in this game. So, we've done the bow a few times. Now, as always, I need to point out the game was made in 2018. So, it is this interpretation of the wreck is not accurate as the wreck is today in 2025. So, having said all of that, let's go ahead and we are going to get started here. So, let me put my headphones on. And let's start our journey to the stern section. How did you guys like the stream last night? Eric's here. Welcome, Eric. How are you, my friend? Did you guys enjoy the stream last night? Oh, I need to. Oh, nope, that's a send. I need to descend. I watched the triple stream. Mark says great stream last night. I was kind of browsing through it a little bit today, and I saw at one point Eric made a comment. I had it, all four channels were on. He was streaming all four channels. Eric, how did you pull that off? Last night's stream was a lot of fun. It most certainly was. All right, so here we are. We're getting up to the wreck right here. Oh, Brian's here. We haven't seen Brian in a while. Welcome. Let's take out our ROV here. I am not entirely sure what we are looking at right here. Eric, I have three computers, one with dual monitors. Gotcha. Is it a winch, Mark? It probably is. Okay, let's hop back in our ROV here and let's get closer to the wreck. So we come on. I know we're going to come up to the front of the stern. So I would imagine. Oh, there you go, right there. Look at the engines. Looks like the Ark with a hubcap on top. Okay. All right, here we are. Look how towering the engines are, guys. I think that's one of the reasons why the stern went down so fast. The weight of the engines pulled the stern down, like at a much faster depth than what the bow went down. Stern didn't have time to fill up with water, so as she's on her way down, she's still full of air, and that caused the implosion. Look how high these are. It's insane. Look at that. And of course, here's the like the shell plating here, completely and utterly destroyed. Aaron, chilling on a Friday here. Yeah, that's yesterday was actually my Friday, so that's one of the reasons why I was able to let that live stream go pretty long, considering it was a weeknight. They're like 3 stories tall, are they? Yeah, I believe they are 3 stories tall. See how far we can get in here. Here we go. I don't know if you can go this far into the real wreck. I seem to remember the stern being in worse condition than even this. And I mean, in today, it probably is. Soch could have had turbines, but White Star Line decided for a hybrid setup. Are you referring to the fact that the center prop is a turbine, Aaron? command these engines to never run again, right? So you should be able to back completely out. Let's see if we can. Okay, yeah, so here's the shell plating laying flat here on the seabed. Now, let's hop back in the ROV and we are going to adjust our lighting. You know, you got this really nice illumination from the ROV. I wish this thing moved faster. Actually, no, it's going to take too long to keep doing all that. Well, let me try it just to see what happens. Let's go back in our little basket here. So, how many of you guys watched either Honor and Glory or Tom Linsky on the on anniversary day? And I watched Tom's. Um, I didn't watch either one because they both start so late, and I can't be up that late on a weeknight. But I have started watching Tom's, and I just finished the point where for the final plunge. Agent's here. How you doing, Age? Welcome. Aaron, I watched both and fell asleep on both. Eric, I watched a good bit of Tom's. I really enjoy Tom's. I think Honor and Glory, I kind of prefer their syncing animation, but I can listen to Don Lynch and Ken Marshall, uh, all day, and Tad Fitch. So I just really enjoy listening to them, talk about Titanic. See, I don't even know this. I have a strong feeling this is not accurate. Let's see. Anna says his went really late. I dozed off and woke to a sea of glass on Tom's, and it went till almost the time Carpathia showed up. Wow. Okay. THG had Aaron says THG animation was better. Part-time Explorer, which is Tom, had better commentary. That was my experience or impression last year, Aaron. So I'm not surprised that it would be the same this year. Ken Marshall's cool, love his artwork, and actually, and Ken knows quite a bit about the story of Titanic too. He's not just a painter. Like you listen to him talk, I mean he knows a thing or two. Those guys were so cool on Part Time Explorers. My first year, I had no idea this stuff went on. I want to say the first syncing animation they ever did once upon a time. Tom was part of Titanic Honor and Glory, and he left them several years ago and started his own channel, which is Part Time Explorer. But when Tom was with Honor and Glory, they did their first syncing animation in 2016, I believe. And ever since then, they've been doing it, both Honor and Glory and Tom on his own channel. Mark, it was cool to hear Don Lynch and Ken Marshall. Absolutely. So yeah, like I said, I have not started watching Honor and Glories yet. I don't. I'm not one to switch back and forth. I'm a completionist like that. So once I am done with Tom's, then I will check out um, Honor and Glory. Don Lynch is awesome too. Yeah. In, in case you guys don't know, Steve, our friend Steve, Blue Ribbon Channel, Steve actually has met Don Lynch. And there's Mark, right on time, Mark. Steve met Don Lynch on Queen Mary last year. I'm pretty sure he has a video on his channel as well. So if you go to, what am I looking at here? Oh, that's the ceiling. Let's see. If you go to Steve's channel, there it is, at the Blue Ribbon. I am fairly certain he has a video where he's actually sitting down on the Queen Mary and having a discussion with Don Lynch. So I am certain that this is completely inaccurate. There's no way you can walk a deck on the stern or send an ROV down a deck. I don't know if there was ever a point where you could do that. So there's definitely some creative liberties with the game, and it's fine. I mean, it's a video game. Oh, look, we've got a gangway door right here. I have never quite figured that out, Matt. What year is this data supposedly taken from? The game was made in 2018, but I've never been able to figure out if their interpretation of the wreck here is from 2018 or when the wreck was discovered in 1985. But this I know for a fact. You can't go in the wreck like this. Not in the stern anyway. Might have been possible before it started collapsing on itself. The problem is the stern completely imploded on the way down, and it's always been a horrible mess. So I have a hard time believing, and I could be wrong, but I just have a hard time believing that there was ever a point in the stern section where you could do this. See, all the classic pool joke. Wonder if we can go through this window. So you can see it's obviously just a giant tangled mess. You see there, even here, you can see our submersible is highlighting the floor. Even you can see the shell plating there, just laying flat on the sea floor. Let's go ahead and hop back in our ROV and make our way further aft. Let's see. All right, so we're going to get back in our submersible. And let's go further aft. So we kind of have a good idea of where we're at here. Let's see. So We're starboard. We're on the starboard side here, and we are working our way aft. No, I guess she couldn't make it tonight. I know Steve couldn't make it tonight either. Oh, look, we've got some railing here. Oh, and there's one of the propellers. There's the outboard starboard propeller. Yeah, I know Steve posted in Discord earlier that he wasn't going to be able to make it tonight either. I think I might have tired everybody out with 2.5 hours last night. Steve is having rum, probably. Yeah, look, now this is interesting. You can see the gold stripe. You guys see the gold stripe? Or what's left of it anyway. Seems like now this looks like this whole deck is peeled back, so this is probably not the actual deck. Let's hop out and see what we can figure out here. Okay, so this is definitely inside of the ship. Anna, there was a gold stripe. I don't remember gold on her. Yes, Olympic and Titanic both had a gold stripe right between the white of the superstructure and the black of the hull. Let's see. Maybe kind of hard to see it here, but if you look right where my finger is, you can see the gold stripe. Okay. Yep, lots of tiles. So let's go. Let's see if we can get in here. Oh, you can go in. Ozzy, do you think coal fire had anything to do? Anything? Okay. Let me read this correct. Do you think the coal fire had anything to do with the sinking? Absolutely nothing. 0% had absolutely nothing to do with Titanic sinking. All right. All right. Let's back up a bit. I think they said, Anna says, I think they said on PTE, Part-Time Explorer stream, that it was out or insignificant by the time it's saying. As I remember it, the coal fire was out Sunday morning, April 14th. Eric, it was all the water that got it, yeah, right? Mark, I never knew she had a stripe until last year. Really? Never seen it on Titanic before that in pictures, but did see it on Olympic in the 20s. It was, of course, on Olympic in the 20s, it was a lot more noticeable because they lowered the yellow stripe, but it was always there on both Olympic and Titanic. Aaron says coal fires were common. Yeah, there is. I've never seen any proof, or no credible historian has ever said anything that I'm aware of to believe that the coal fire had anything to do with the sinking. All right. Let's illuminate the rudder and the starboard side propeller here. This looks like a good spot right here. Oh, yeah. There we go. Now, at least this part of the wreck we know is still intact. You can very clearly see the rudder and the propellers, the two outboard propeller shafts on both sides. Unfortunately, what we cannot see is the center prop because it is buried down. I really wish they could figure out a way to get one or both of the outboard propellers off of the wreck. Yeah, so much for the turbine. That would also help in that debate about was the center prop a 3-blade or a 4-blade propeller? Absolutely, prop 401. Let's see if we can see the 401. Boiler room 2 to keep the lights on. Let's see. See, the 401 on the wreck is visible right up in this upper section. I do not see it on here. I see what I think is a 0, but I am not 100% certain. See if I can line this up right in the center. And according to the new Net Geo doc, with the 3D twin, it was at boiler room 2 where the break happened. Right. Yeah, I did see that documentary. So the 401 is not visible here, but on the Magellan scan, if you, we've seen the pictures from the Magellan scan. They're all over the internet. The 401 is definitely on the prop, even if this game is not showing it. And of course, the 401 being yet another one of the endless ways we can prove that this is Titanic and not Olympic. But some people can't accept reality even when you show them that sort of tangible evidence. Yeah, a good bit of the rudder is actually out of the water. Unfortunately, just not enough. Okay, let's hop back in the submersible and make our way over to the port side. Conspiracy theorists listen to facts. That doesn't happen, right? Conspiracy theorists are one of the reasons why I pretty much don't look at any ship content on Facebook, with the exception of a couple of places, because I just can't handle that level of nonsense. It's just ridiculous. Actually, it looks like we can see the line for the red paint. Let's hop out. Yeah, I really feel sorry for like the true historians and the experts and all who have to deal with that. Is it just my eyes, or does it look like maybe it's just the way the light was hitting the rudder? But I thought I saw the mark where we changed from the red paint or from the black paint to the red paint. If the Ozzy, if the port side gangway door was closed, they would have had more time. Yeah, but minutes. By the time D deck is going under, I mean there's no stopping it. You remember, by the time D deck is going under, one deck below on E deck on the same side of the ship, the port side, you've got Scotland Road, which is essentially a highway for all that water to travel straight to the back of the ship. Yeah, from this moment on, no matter what I do, Titanic will founder. All right, here we go. Here's the port side propeller. Typical for the Travel Channel. Yeah, that has absolutely no credibility for me whatsoever, Mark. He meant founder, Eric. Yeah, see, you can't see the 401 on this side either. But I mean, we know on the real wreck it's there. It'd be nice if we could get more light from the submersible. I'd love to get like a top-down view. Speaking of like, I don't ever remember seeing it on the port side propeller, Eric, but it's definitely on the starboard side. If you watch that new documentary that's on Disney Plus, Hulu, whatever, um, Park Stevenson actually you can see him. He's pointing up, and he points out the 401. Oh wow! Look at that. Here's it's almost like a banana peel. It's just like split open. Let's go around the backside because the very tip of the stern is still recognizable, even on the Magellan scans. So what we're looking at right here, where you see all the portholes, that would be that's actually C deck, and there's a lot of machinery right here in this section. Yes, Mark, correct. You can see some of the capstans. You jump, I jump. Seen a clip of that, just didn't know if it was visible on both. Now, to my knowledge, I don't ever remember seeing a clip or an image of the 401 on the port side. But yeah, definitely the starboard side. So you had a lot of machinery for the rudder back here in this section on C deck. You see some of the capstans are still there. All the benches that would have been right here in the center are long gone, or they might be crushed by this debris. I'm not sure. You think right around here in this section where this pipe starts, so you would think like the docking bridge would be somewhere around here, or would have been. I am not sure what that giant tube is. Let's work our way forward and see if we can make out or recognize anything. Oh, and I just landed on the wreck. You see a wall with two portholes and two windows there. But the way the stern is messed up so badly, I have no idea what part of the ship that would have been. So since you guys are quoting Cameron's movie, here's a question. Do you normally watch Cameron's movie, or do you watch A Night to Remember each year during Titanic Week or Titanic Month, whichever one you do? Yeah, this is so messed up. I can't even tell where the well deck would have been. Ozzy watches both. Oh, what's this giant pole here? Mark, I watched Titanic and A Night to Remember all year long. And I still can't watch Cameron's without crying. I just watch Doc's now. And the original two Titanic. Are you talking about the 1953 Titanic movie, Ozzy? To be honest, I haven't seen either in a few years. I watched them both last year. I forget exactly when. This might be what their interpretation of the aft mast. That's what I think this is. In fact, the more I look at it, I'm fairly certain that this is the mast. Anna Granite documentaries are making me cry now. I noticed you said in the Discord, Anna, that for some reason it's hitting you harder this year than it has in years past. So let's go back. we're going to bring the submersible a bit more forward. Original has the young Natalie Wood in it. Have any of you ever been to the museums in either Pigeon Forge or Branson? That being Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, or Branson, Missouri? Mark, I haven't seen the 1953 in a long time. Here's a fact: I've never seen the 1953 movie. You guys would really enjoy those museums. They are essentially the exact same museum, internally and externally. Mark says you're not missing much. I disagree, Mark. I really enjoyed the Pigeon Forge Museum. So let's go up here. This is the second class entrance right here, guys. I recognize that instantly. That is definitely second class entrance. Eric, I haven't used to live in Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, but it wasn't there at the. Oh, Mark, you're talking about the 1953 movie. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, there's the second class entrance right there. That's some beautiful country out there, Eric. I will definitely like to go back and visit that area again at some point. And of course, when I do, I will go back to the Titanic Museum. So you might be a little bit familiar with this, Eric, if you used to live out there. We stayed at a our hotel was actually a hotel slash casino in Cherokee, North Carolina, and it's an hour drive. You have to go through the Smokies to get to Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge from there. So we got a twofer. In addition to being in Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge, we had to go straight through the Smokies in order to get to Gatlinburg Pigeon Forge. Ozzy the Potato Room. The drive is beautiful. I haven't been to Cherokee in decades. I think we did that trip about. I think it's 3 years ago now. We did that trip. Excuse me. I'm gonna have to go back and look at the Magellan scan and see if the second class entrance is still recognizable. Ugh, that just hurts just seeing it like that. Okay. Let's move a little bit forward. I imagine there's not going to be much left here that's going to be recognizable. Yeah, I'm convinced that does not exist on the wreck. Like you can't go down the A deck promenade right there. I definitely need to see about finding some images of how the stern looked in 1985. I'm really curious. Also, I know what that is right there. You see that round thing right there? That is the base of the port side loading crane on A deck. I recognize that. What's up, movie, Mr. Bond with one ping spell? Yep, there we go. That is definitely the A deck loading crane. Yeah, Anna, if you want to look some up, by all means. I'd love to do like a comparison from 1985 to the Magellan wreck. Actually, I should have thought to do that. Maybe we might do that next week. I'll find if we can get some nice photos and compare the two. That might be an idea for next week. Okay, Mark, you've got some on your channel. Okay, good to know. Yeah, you said I'm convinced this is not a correct interpretation of the stern. I mean, it's still interesting to look at it, but if I'm telling people or describing to people what the stern looks like, I usually just say, a gigantic mess. This still has some recognizable features to it. Take away from the fun. All right, so we're going forward. I wonder why it wants us to descend. It was a door, Ozzy. You talking about back this way? Yeah, there was a door there. And we're getting right to the front again where the engines are. But since we've seen the engines, I'm going to go a little higher. And we're going to look above the engines. So, yeah, we're back at the front. All right. Exploring the bow is much better because, of course, as we know, the bow is in much better shape. So that looks like the second class entrance right there. It's insane to think about how much of the ship is actually missing. Because you look at the, let's see if I can go full screen here for a minute. So if you're looking at the ship, essentially from the compass platform right here all the way to like right here, I believe, after the third funnel, it's like that, and maybe even further. It's somewhere right here. Like this whole section of the ship is just obliterated. It's gone. And I am certainly not going to object to you looking up that stuff anyway. No, let's go back this way. All right, so let's see if we can. I don't want to descend. I want to take the. I want to take the. There we go. Yeah, so this is essentially where we kind of just were at this spot. Yeah, because there's second class entrance right there. I think the lights went off. Well, if you look at Cameron's movie, the lights went off seconds before the breakup. There's some people who say they went off. We know it's right around the time of the breakup. It's either seconds before or during the breakup, but I don't think it was seconds after the breakup. I want to say by the time the breakup started, the lights were gone. Probably going to hit the engines here. That is correct, Anna. Okay. Just crazy to see them like this. And just like out in the open like this, there's no shell plating around them. Oh, they are most certainly massive. That's a screenshot right there. Let me back out, get the whole thing in view. Let's get a view from the front as well. There we go, right there. Forever frozen in time, absolutely. Cool. Guys, I'm going to wrap it up a little early this week. I mean, we're almost at an hour anyway, so I don't think 5 minutes is going to matter. But let's see. Bring the mouse back over here. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is my first. Wait, can you go above and look down? Yeah, I'll do that before we go. Before we go, Eric, let me do that real quick for you. Let's see. Let's do that. Oh, absolutely. There we go. Too bad we can't see the other ones. We can only see these two front ones. But yeah, there we are. I think that'll make a good parting shot right there. All right. So, guys, thanks so much for coming and hanging out. 2 live streams in 1 week. How about that? And boy, was last night a big one. So, as always, our live streams are every Friday, 7 o'clock p.m. Central U.S. time. Videos of the week. There wasn't one last week and this week because of the extra live stream content that I've had on the channel. But the videos of the week are normally every Friday morning at 7 a.m. Video shorts are every Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Central U.S. time. So again, last week will be our last live stream for Titanic month. So I think we already have some ideas for what to do with that. So, oh, and finally, on the last note, I'm probably going to be seeing the Big U tomorrow. Stay tuned for an update on the channel for that. Thanks again for watching, everybody. And as always, you guys know the drill. Until the next time, drive safely.